ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की गंगा माई यमुना माई की सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. Welcome to today's morning Bhagavatam class. So, we are reading from Canto 4, chapter 23, verse number 34. Please repeat after me. Aspasta kirti suyasa. Aspasta kirti suyasa. Murkho bhavanti pandita. Murkho bhavati pandita. Idam swasti ayanam pumsam. Idam swasti ayanam pumsam. Amangalya nivaranam. Amangalya nivaranam. Aspasta kirti suyasa. Murkho bhavati pandita. Idam swasti ayanam pumsam. Amangalya nivaranam. Aspasta kirti suyasa. Murkho bhavati pandita. Idam swasti ayanam pumsam. Amangalya nivaranam. Prabhuji's. Murkho bhavanti pandita. Idam swasthayanam pumsam. Amangalya nivarana. Aspasta kirti suyasa. Murkho bhavati pandita. Idam swasthayanam pumsam. Amangalyam nivaranam. Aspaste kirti suyasa. Mukho bhavati vandita. Idam swasti. Okay. Word to word. Aspasta kirti, unmanifested reputation. Suyasa, very famous. Murkha, illiterate. Bhavati, becomes. Pandita, learned. Idam, this. Swasti ayanam, auspiciousness. Pumsam, of the men. Amangalya, inauspiciousness. Nivaranam, prohibiting. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. Also, one who hears this narration 3 times will become very reputable if he is not recognized in society. and he will become a great scholar if he is illiterate. In other words, hearing of the narrations of Pṛthu Mahārāja is so auspicious that it drives away all bad luck. Purport. In the material world, everyone wants some profit, some adoration, and some reputation. By associating in different ways with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees, one can very easily become opulent in every respect. Even if one is not known or recognized by society, he becomes very famous and important if he takes to devotional service and preaching. As far as education is concerned, one can become recognized in society as a great learned scholar simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, wherein the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees are described. This material world is full of dangers at every step, but a devotee has no fear because devotional service is so auspicious that it automatically counteracts all kinds of bad luck. Since hearing about Pṛthu Mahārāja is one of the items of devotional service, Shravanam, naturally hearing about him brings all good fortune. Jai. Let's do Mangalacharan. Om Ajnanaतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथं वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादां सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखावितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशकल्पत्ररूप्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन। So, I will repeat the translation. Also, one who hears this narration 3 times will become very reputable if he is not recognized in society, and he will become a great scholar if he is illiterate. In other words, hearing of the narrations of Pṛthu Mahārāja is so auspicious that it drives away all bad luck. So, from the chapter Maharaj Pṛthu going back home, back to Godhead, like we heard yesterday, how different devotees or different people take up to the devotional service. Doesn't matter how they start up, but the end result is they practice the devotional service and try purifying their heart and go back home, back to Godhead. So before starting this, like we should know like what is our actual position. So we are the eternal servant of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jivera Swarupavai Krishnera Nitya Das. And how all the problem like begins, what is the root cause, how all the problem begins. Like if we don't know what is the problem, we won't be able to treat or won't be able to cure. So very first thing, like our identification, we think ourselves as body, but like in ultimate case our actual position is the Jivera Swarupavai Krishnera Nitya Das. We are eternal servant, and what is the bodily feature of the Lord? Like he is Sachit Ananda, made up of like pure bliss, knowledge. Yeah. And so what is the main problems that is binding us with this materialistic life, not or putting a cover on our consciousness, on our eyes, to not recognize our actual position. Any guess? I would like to give chance to all the devotees. What are the real problems or the thing that bind us to the material world or won't allow us to progress in the devotional service, on the path of devotional service to the Krishna? Okay. So Prabhuji said material attachments. Yeah, in one way we can understand that. And the main note, how it starts is like to rule it over the, or lord it over the material nature. Like when we want to enjoy separately from Krishna, Krishna creates this very material world. Okay, go and enjoy. So having the desire to enjoy, have sense gratification apart from Krishna, not with Krishna, apart from Krishna separately. So this is one of the reason of us to stay here in material world. And what is the seed? The seed, the desire to have sense gratification. And we are so blind in the process of fulfilling our senses, gross materialistic senses, the senses which are not complete in itself. Like for example, if we see sun from here, like how small we see, it's very small in size, but in actual case, is it that very small? No, right? So how we came to know about that? By studying the books. Also in the scriptures it's mentioned how big is the size, and even more detail, there are also living entities, different souls, like different planetary systems. So when we understand our senses are not complete, it doesn't give or receives the complete information, then through which eyes we should see? We should see through the Shastra, Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. So best is the, when we study scriptures, if we see the situations of our life or the circumstances of our life through the eyes of Shastra, we don't feel or we don't get impacted or disturbed or agitated by the problems that we are facing, because Shastra, what they have the knowledge or the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and their devotees, and it is not similar to what we study in our college or university. So it's absolute. Absolute means the knowledge which is true in earth but not in the Mars. Absolute means even if we go in Mars, in sun, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is changing? The definition of atom that we read 10 years before, that keeps revising, that keeps upgrading. So that is not absolute. Absolute means something that is same and it doesn't change, it doesn't get impacted by the time, place, circumstances and everything. Similarly, when we know our senses are polluted, we should see through the eyes of Shastra, Sadhu and Guru. Then we can sense and feel the progress in devotional service. For instance, when we are hungry, we take some food, some prasadam, then we feel, okay, we have taken. And if someone asks how do you feel, you are packed, you are not hungry, then simply when we take prasadam or when we eat something, we understand, right? We are full, we are not empty. So similarly, when we start following the Sadhu, Guru and Shastra, follow their instructions especially, then we especially feel more satisfied, more happy, because that's the actual nature of the soul, to be engaged in the devotional service of Krishna. And by performing, by reading Shastra, by following Sadhu, by following the Guru, their instructions, this is one part of the service we are performing for Krishna. So and in this material world, everyone wants some profit, some adoration and some reputation. If we see in our day-to-day activities how materialistic people are acting with each other, how they are dealing with each other, so the level of their benefit they get from the second party, that level of bond, a strong bond they have. For instance, if we take the example of hippies, someone who take drugs, someone who does intoxication and all, even if he even if he gets someone unknown, totally apart from his identity, maybe let's imagine, let's take an example of India, Nepal, or any country. Like people, they are very used to of taking the intoxications. Intoxication means like cigarettes, alcohol, or the something like gutkas we say. And for instance, if one of the party or one of the people, they don't have that, what is the desire of that very guy? From anywhere or somewhere, someone I should get who can supply me that very thing. So what happens, the nature of mind comes out over here. Whatever we think, we attract that. So what we are looking for instance, in this temple room, if we look for something yellow in color, then let's say something yellow in this temple room. Okay, if we see in this way, Prabhupada is wearing yellow garland. I have some yellow in my garland. Sorry. Yellow Hare Krishna Mahamantra board, yellow, yeah. And in process of searching yellow, did we find anything red or anything different color? No, right? So it's how, like the nature of mind. If one is aware how mind works, what is the nature of mind, the very first thing, the nature of mind is it's very much agitating. It's like flickering. It jumps from one place to another. Like even within 1 second, the speed of mind, it's roughly calculated in scientific calculations. It's like more than 400 unit is 400 kilometer per second in that way. Like if we think of Bangkok once, then Singapore, then India, like how fast mind is moving here and there, and how we are functioning. If we see like thoughts, the relation of thought and our actions, it's interrelated. If we are having good thoughts, if we are associating with devotees who are always engaged in the devotional service, who always think of Krishna, who always trying to serve Krishna, with their activities also we can sense, okay, his activities somehow gives us hint. So what's that aura? We can sense the thoughts of the second party. So why I'm talking about the thought is because this is where from 1 degree change happens. If we see in airport, like the understanding of Mayavad, the impersonalist, is that everything is same, like all the airplanes in the airport lead to the same destination. Is that true? Like all the airplanes in the airport lead to the same destination? Same way, like how it starts the change. If we see the same runway, same airport, same air flight, maybe same pilot, but destination is different. Maybe different pilot as well, different airlines. So how it starts? The flight take off. What is the difference of takeoff in all the flight? The 1 degree change that all the flight takes. If Air India wants to go to India, it will take different degree and different angle to go in that direction, but the runway will be same. Same way Singapore Airlines, if it needs to go to Singapore, it will use the same runway but different degree of angle, different inclination. Same way. So what I'm trying to say through this example is, are we observing our thoughts? Like we try to force, okay, we know all the rules, we need to do Shravanam, Kirtanam, we need to have Sadhu Sangha, we need to read Shastra, but while doing this all, we also need to check ourselves. Are we getting more inclined to hearing Krishna Katha about Krishna pastimes and serving the Krishna devotees or not? So we must have checkpoints, how well we are performing. Even if we go to mechanics to service our car, they give us time frame. Okay, if your car runs this very kilometer, come back to check again. If your car doesn't run this much kilometer, though with this time frame, have a checkpoint. Same way we need to have checkpoint when we are performing any type of devotional service. So what is the checkpoint? So the very first thing is, when we are performing devotional service, then our heart becomes softer because it's the process of purifying ourselves, and we become like more calm, peaceful. That's the byproducts. Main thing is inclination towards hearing the Krishna Katha. Whenever or wherever there is talk about Krishna or the discussion of Krishna, we are inclined to hear about that. Same way the metal is attracted towards magnet, same way we get attracted towards that. And if we are not that very inclined to hearing the Krishna Katha, that means we can position ourselves in what level we are and what is the requirement. Same way, for different disease, there is different medicine. This is the same Shastra. Like for instance, if someone drinks too much milk, like something hodgepodge happens in their stomach, their stomach go bad, what is the cure? Same way, like if they take the yogurt, yeah. Same way the Shastra. If we are reading Shastra, we are doing like our sadhana very perfectly. We are hearing everything, but if we are not understanding it, it won't cause the very great impact. It's like working like an ass. The donkey or the ass for whom, like without doing any activity for his master, the grass for which it works is easily available everywhere. Same way, like we need to understand like whether I am reading, whether it is we are able to understand or not 100%, but some extent we must be able to understand, rather having robotic reading. And moving forward, by associating in different ways with the Supreme Personality of Godhead or his devotees, one can very easily become opulent in every respect. So, and the importance is given on the Shravanam. So, Shravanam means hearing. So, how it starts by hearing. If we see the pastime of Mother Rukmini, how Mother Rukmini wrote letter to Krishna and explained all the situation, how she is going to get married with someone else, and after all, like all the, I'm fast forwarding, everything happens, and Krishna asks, like, why you chose me? You have a lot of things, you never saw me as well. Then what Mother Rukmani said is, I used to hear about your glories. So hearing glories, so we can see hearing glories, even if we, for instance, even if we like someone, if we have inclination towards someone, if we observe our mind, the sound vibration it comes is, it first impact or first impression comes from the hearing, the sound vibrations. For instance, if we are watching movie, if I'm speaking, if I just turn off my mic and sound is not traveling through here, we all will be able to stay here like for an hour or for half an hour. Like it's hard to stay even for 5 minutes. I'm just speaking, just lip sync, no sound is coming. Yeah. So this is the same sound vibration that can help us to purify our heart and know what is our actual position. So what is the transcendental sound or the chanting we start when we are starting our bhakti or initiating our bhakti? The very first thing that anyone or everyone will share with us. Hey, do you chant? In this way they ask. And what they say, what is our reply? Someone say, I chant this mantra, I chant this mantra, I chant Om Namah Shivaya, I chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yeah. So as I mentioned previously, as per the disease, there is different medicine. Same way there is 4 yugas. Among this, like this is Kali Yuga, which is in its starting phase, not even in the middle. And especially for this yuga, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is recommended. Who has recommended? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay, so who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? No, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, who came to give the mercy to everyone. The Sankirtan Yagna, the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to give us the Sankirtana Yagna and also to taste the rasa that their devotees, the devotees of Krishna, they taste when they are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. So even the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like he thinks what type of prasad they get, they give up their life, or whatever activity they are performing in their household life, whatever place we are located, they keep performing, and even they keep performing the devotional service. What is the thing that keeps them moving or keeps them doing? If we work for 8 hours shift in some place, some karmi restaurant or anywhere in our day-to-day life, we get exhausted, we don't feel like going next day. But if we see in our temple, we have various festivals, Janmashtami, Radhashtami, Prabhupada Vyas Puja, like devotees, they give their life and soul and perform all the devotional activities, like since morning to evening, late night. But what they say is, okay, when is the next festival, they say. They don't say, this festival. Yeah. So what is the difference? Like, it's very noticeable. But what happens when we chant, we can, when we are ready, when the student is ready, teacher appears. Same way when our consciousness is ready, our mind, the magnet, we can term it as magnet, when it is ready and calibrated in the correct way, we can attract the same thing. So even we hear from the elders, from the sadhus as well, the your association defines what you will be. Even the karmis, they say, I can say what the third person will be by seeing the two friends with him he associates with. So why association is coming here every time? So see, when anyone associates with devotees, what the devotees will talk about Krishna, what they will talk about, how is your sadhana going, how is your health, yeah, and what will happen if we associate with our friends. Hey, you know, I earned this money, I need to change my job, I need to go here for picnic, you know, something interesting is coming to movie. So this is the difference we can see. Choice is our, like we have free will. Krishna, he doesn't want to interfere within our free will. And if we want to check, or if we are performing sadhana bhakti, we can also sense it or absorb it. Like we always get two choices. One is leading towards the path of Krishna, one is leading away from Krishna. Yeah, and choice depends how well we are performing our sadhana, how well we have done our chanting. 90% of the progress comes from the chanting. Yeah, so if our chanting is good, we will be able to read shastra nicely, because if we do good chanting, our consciousness will be proper, we won't be irritated, we can grab more information from the shastra, we will be able to listen someone patiently. The good sign of a leader is he is good listener, or anyone who is successful, the common quality we see is he is a good listener. Similarly, Pṛthu Mahārāja, like he is Satyavasa avatar of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Do you all think that Pṛthu Mahārāja, he was a good listener or not? Was he good listener? He was good listener, not only by the way he communicate with his prajas, but also what is best for them. He is trying to direct each and every one of his prajas toward the path of devotional service. And some of the points, like all the leaders, they need to follow, or they should know, to avoid any of the circumstances if they are leading either in the company or any of the position they are. Like each and every individual, they are performing multi personalities activities. Like in home, yes, we may be son of someone, at workplace we are friend of someone. Similarly, the different activities we perform, the leaders especially, they need to know few things. If they know, then it's very easy. So any government or any leader, what they should follow is, like they should be trained in the shastras, and they should know what Krishna says. So we could even say what God says. Why we are saying Krishna says? Because we are clear, we have clarity, like who is God? Krishna is the God. Who is Supreme Personality of Godhead? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah, we are clear, we can even point out, here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so we say Krishna. And any party or people engaged in the ruling or government activities should be trained in the shastras. Why they should be say like trained in the shastras? Any of the point or any of the sharing, Prabhus have, Matajis, anything? Why they should be trained in the shastras? Anyone who is ruling or are in the post where they need to rule someone, or they are in the governmental post? Try anything? No? Okay, so if nothing is coming, I would like to ask first question. What is Shastra? What is understanding of Shastra among all of us we are sitting here? Reading scriptures, revealed scriptures. Why it is revealed scriptures? Okay. Okay, so at first I mentioned absolute truth, then coming truth. Now here we need to understand levels of truth, some extent of truth. We studied what is computer. Computer is the electronic device, yeah, that has CPU, this monitor, that monitor. Until class 1, that was the truth. When we go in class 10, it gets, yeah. So something is truth in certain level, something is true from different period of time. So Prabhu, anything would you like to share about Shastra? What is Shastra? Hmm. Yeah. Prabhu, you want to try anything? What is Shastra? Anything that you understand. You are hearing Bhagavatam class, yeah? Yeah. The glories of Sri Krishna. Okay. Yeah. So if we see the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, how it is started, question mark is there at last. Yeah. So beginning of the Shastras is starting from question mark. We can also put question mark in our thoughts if we are unclear about anything. What happens if we put question mark? We try to find more or try to go more deeper into that very topic. So what is Shastra? So for our understanding, we can understand Shastra. It talks about like different things, like there are different Shastras. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is known as the king of all the Shastras. Why it is known as the king of all Shastras? Because it talks about the personality of Godhead, his activities, his pastimes, about his devotees, right? Now, if we say this to someone new, why he want to listen about Krishna? Why he want to listen about the devotees? Yeah. So we need to understand what is Shastra. Shastra is, we can also understand Shastra as the guidance or the torchlight. Same way if we want to go some destination, we use Google Maps, Waze or Apple Map. Same way, like we got this body, what is life? Like some questions arise sometime when we are frustrated or fed of life. So all the questions or queries we have, there is no any question that can't be answered by the scriptures, the Shastras. So Shastra, it talks about the absolute truth. Who is absolute truth? Krishna. There are even the Shastras, like for the small kid, they won't take the medicine directly which is concentrated. So what parents does is dilute it with the water or some drink that kids like and give them, right? So that the medicine could go and perform its effect to cure the baby of any disease. Same way, the Srimad Bhagavatam, it's like such type of medicine. We are in the diseased condition of his stage. What is our disease? Yeah. Janma Mritu Jara Vyadhi. Birth is, old age, disease. Yeah. We are trying to sort out the problems that are temporary basis. I don't have money, I don't have good wife, I don't have good job, I don't have good association of people, I want to be the greatest of all greaters. So these are the things that are on the surface level. The main problem is birth, death. Even the most surprising thing I heard in one lecture is, most surprising thing, Yamraj, yeah, the conversation of Yamraj. Yamraj said, what is the most like more astonishing thing that you think is happening with the living entities? Yeah, people, they are dying in front of the others, like death happens in front of us. Even after looking that, we don't contemplate why this is happening, we don't ask question how it is happening. That is the level of level of cover, or that level of like coverage is there on our consciousness. And how it started was the Shastras. So what does the Shastra does? When we read Shastra, we grab knowledge about the absolute truth. Who is absolute truth? Who are we? What is our actual position? Yeah, in this way we slowly progress, and at the end we understand the essence of all the Vedas and all the Shastra, Upanishads, Vedanta is to understand who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Yeah, and someone who is devotee of Lord Shiva, they read Shiva Purana. Okay, for them, as I mentioned before, someone baby, they won't take medicine directly, need to dilute. So we hear Vaishnava Nam Yatha Sambhu. Yeah, he is known as Vaishnavas. Lord Shiva is known as Vaishnava. He is a great devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is also in meditation. On whom he is meditating? Like simple questions we don't reflect or try to connect. And just for our sense gratification, okay, Lord Shiva, he used to have bhang, datura, he drank poison. For our sense gratification, we put Lord Shiva in front and we do intoxication. So this is at last all starting from question mark. If we start putting question mark at the end, we can like clarify our thoughts more, and we can have clear understanding of the things. So Shastra, it talks about Krishna, who Krishna is, who we are, what is our relation with the Krishna, how we can go back home back to Godhead. Before going back home back to Godhead, like all the doubts we have, it needs to be clarified. So Shastra helps in that way, and it also acts as the ultimate guidance in our life. Doesn't matter in what level we are. If we are entrepreneur, it's gonna guide us through that way. It doesn't matter in what location we are. If we put the goal, the map, it will show the way how it goes. If we take the wrong turn, it will again direct. The timing may be different. Yeah, have we noticed, like if we take wrong turn while we are driving, goal is same but the timing may different. Everyone will go to the same destination, just the timing is different. So what is the best way to go with the fastest route? Yeah, so what is the fastest route? Chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, reading Prabhupada books, listening to the sadhu and guru, and associating with the devotees. This is the fastest route. We know this is the fastest route. We have the grabbed knowledge, not the realized knowledge. When we apply this in our day-to-day activity, it will be realized. So yeah, I was talking about the qualities or the things that anyone who is in the leading position or under whom there are some of the followers, they should have. One, they should be trained in the Shastras. What happens if they are trained in the Shastras? If they are trained in the Shastras, they know the importance. Same as the Pṛthu Mahārāja. He know what is the ultimate goal of this life. Yeah. Same way, what is like our attraction compared to? We don't spend our whole day in washroom, right? Same way, we can compare it with that. We perform our activity in washroom and try to come out as soon as possible. Same way, we need to complete our business in this one lifetime and go back home back to Godhead. And what is the way? It's also mentioned in the Shastra, performing devotional service to Krishna. We are sadhana bhaktas. By following the sadhana, we are not perfect. We are follower Rupa Nugas. Whatever Rupa Goswami gave us, we follow that. By following the great acharyas, we are trying to progress in our bhakti. For example, we usually hear of the iron rod. When we need to give some shape to that very iron rod, we need to heat it, right? So when we are heating that, when it becomes fully molten red in color, very hot, is that the iron rod in that very stage, or it's fire? It's fire, right? The same rod. Same way, when we living entities, we associate with the pure devotees, we perform the devotional service, what happens? We are polishing, we are putting us in a form so that we can grab the information or grab the absolute truth. We hear Divya Gyan Hridaya Prakashito. Like there is no any mechanical way. By performing this sort of activity, I will understand. We can see physically somebody may be performing a lot of services, but in consciousness is not inclined towards Krishna. Doesn't matter. If someone does 1 hour of service, but he is very gratitude towards like Krishna, towards the devotees, he will progress more than someone performing 10 hours of service. So what is making different? Consciousness, in what mood, in what consciousness we are performing the service, we are performing our devotional activity. Same way, if ministers or the government rulers or any leader, if they know about the ultimate goal, we all are individual. We all can be guided with that very leader in different way, but the goal will be the same, right? For instance, if someone is climbing on the cliff of the mountain, if I'm catching the rope, the force I need to pull someone Prabhu, everyone have different weight, right? It will be different. Yeah. Similarly, in what level of consciousness we are, doesn't matter. If we read Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, wherever we are, we will be directed towards the same absolute truth. We will be getting direction in our life. And we don't need to give up our prescribed duties. If someone may be married, someone will be like brahmachari, someone are in different stages of life, they doesn't need to do anything. They just need to add the Krishna in our life. So adding Krishna doesn't mean like bringing deity at home, performing some puja part. We do bhakti to Krishna. So bhakti, Krishna is bhavgrahi, not the activities that we perform daily. Bhavgrahi means like with what mood we are offering, and what should be our mood when we are worshipping Krishna. Any guess? What should be our mood when we are worshipping Krishna or performing devotional service? Any try? So we hear that we should serve we hear this sloka tadvidi pranipatena praniprashnena sevaya upadhyakshantiste jnana jnaninas tattvadarshina. So when we approach a bona fide spiritual master, we render some service to him, and after spiritual master is pleased, he blesses us with the spiritual knowledge. Yeah, so rendering service, devotional service with Krishna, the way, the mood, servitude, that mood, the attitude of serving, that should be our mood towards devotees, towards Krishna. Not the mood of, not the transit like the businessman, like, okay, I will perform this activity, Krishna, please fulfill my this desire. Krishna doesn't like the transactions like this type of devotion. Yeah, it should be like savai pumsam paro dharma yato bhaktir adoksaje ahitukiya pratihata yayatma suprasiddhati. So our devotional service should be uninterrupted and unmotivated with any things, maybe material desire or any other desire. Yeah, so to go up to that position, it's hard, right? So what we do, we chant. What we chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Doesn't feel like we chanted. One more loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once more. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So 3 times we chanted. The level of surrender we had in first, second and third. The level of frequency we were emanating or we were like giving to others. We can see, right? So the level of surrenderance we have towards Krishna, his name, his pastimes, the scriptures about his everything we do, reciprocation is same. If we have 10% surrenderance, 10% reciprocation is from Krishna. Yeah, Krishna has 10 hands, we have 2 hands. Same way we take 1 step, Krishna will take more than 10 steps. Yeah, because our step and his step is different. So what I mean to say is, like when we are reading Shastra, maybe the pastimes of Pṛthu Mahārāja, like we read here right now, right? If we hear 3 times, we'll become very reputable. If he is not recognized in society, and he will become a great scholar if he is illiterate. So these are like the phalas stuti of the Shastra. If we read Krishna book, there is 90 pastimes, 90 phalas stuti. Someone is feeling lusty, unable to control lusty desire, they can read the pastimes of Rasalila, the Gopis one, but level of surrenderance, it will affect us to that level, to the level we surrender and read that very grab. We all are devotees, we all are sitting here, we always come to temple, but we see some devotees, they advance too much, they are still like progressing, struggling with the basics. What is the difference with all this? The grabbing power. What is the grabbing power? How it comes when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Like even our senses are worst, it's not working. Whatever is required, it will happen when we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Whatever auspicious needs to be happen, it will happen. If anything in auspicious is there, it will reduce it. Yeah? And it will give us strength. The main aim of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra is to request Radha Gopinath to engage us in their service, in their devotional service. Yeah. And when we perform devotional service, everything, like when we water the root, the whole tree, like it gets nurtured. Right? Same way when we perform devotional service to Krishna, when we try to satisfy the senses of Krishna, our senses are satisfied. So next time when we are feeling too much hungry to eat samosa, we take directly or we offer to Krishna first? We offer to Krishna then take. Right? So there are different examples we can come across when we read the Shastras. I will come back to the point. Another quality that the ruler or the leader should have is they should be seeking the guidance from panel of Brahmanas. Yeah. So right now we see the whoever are in the ruling department or the government, they are not taking the association or they are not taking guidance from the Brahmanas, right? Even if in company, if we join any new position, if we are intern, if we are in the assistance level, we have someone who can guide us, right? And for them there is someone who can guide them. For them there is someone who can guide them. Yeah, the parampara even for the material company is there. What for us? Our Guru Parampara, if we see, it's coming from Krishna, Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Vyasdev, Vyasdev in this way, Parampara is coming till Prabhupada. Prabhupada is here. What Krishna said, after I disappear, I complete my pastimes here. His stories, the Srimad Bhagavatam will take place. So just Srimad Bhagavatam appeared after that. So when we want to respect something, when we know about that very thing, for instance Srimad Bhagavatam, when we know what is Srimad Bhagavatam, what is Shastra, how it is coming through, how it came up to us, then the respect will automatically come and inclination will automatically come. Yeah. So if someone know how to make tea, boiling water is not a great deal for them, right? Same way, if we know how is this, who is Krishna, how we will not come to know who is Krishna by reading this Shastra, by hearing, especially by hearing. Even just by reading we don't. We hear Bhagavad Gita, we hear Srimad Bhagavatam, like the morning Bhagavatam classes. It's from that. And as we knew the two qualities, even after knowing these two qualities, something that can make the difference in the leader, or the quality that was common in Pṛthu Mahārāja was the mood. So mood, representative of God should know the mood of Krishna. They should know that what Krishna likes and what Krishna doesn't like. One can know this by reading the Shastras. So if we see everything is different where here and there, hitter and thither, but coming toward the same end, someone who knows Shastra. Yeah. So all the people in government should read the Shastras and apply the Shastric principles. And when something regarding ruling government comes, then we always come across the Chanakya Nitis. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, there are different instances where Prabhupada quotes Chanakya. So these are the things. And if we want the principles or the instructions that can help us in our day-to-day life for the quick, we can start reading the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna book, then Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way the flow goes. And with the side thing, nectar of instruction, it by name it's clear, nectar of instructions. It gives the instruction. From the very first verse we will come to know the engagement of the senses, about the senses, how to control the senses. Yeah. So moving forward, as I explained, as far as education is concerned, one can become recognized in society as a great learned scholar simply by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, wherein the pastimes of the Lord and his devotees are described. The material world is full of dangers at every step. There is pa, pha, ba, bha, marga, vargas. So anyone who have studied Devanagari, ka, kha, ga, ga, they know it comes in a line pa, pha, ba, bha, ba, vargas. The different dangers are different sufferings of life. And moving forward, since hearing about Pṛthu Mahārāja is one of the item of devotional service Shravanam, naturally hearing about him brings all good fortune. Yeah. So after saying this much, any question? Any doubt? Can I ask question? Why? If you don't have question, then let me ask question. Okay. So what are the diseases or the dangers or the problems we don't think that Shastra is saying that all the living entities has? What are the problems? What are the problems of human form of life? Yeah. 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 Yes. Death. So what we are doing is reading Shastra, performing devotional service. It's like preparation for death. Yeah. And we all say if you have good karma, you will go to Swarga. If you have bad karma, you will go to Narka. Little knowledge is dangerous. Read Shastra and we come to know the different planetary systems, how it works, how even pious activities bind us. You know, performing pious activity also bind us. performing impious activities, bad karma, it binds us, that's sure. Even performing good karma. If we perform pious activities, if we have desire, like we perform good activity, we want to enjoy the fruit of good activities, we will born in some higher planetary system to enjoy the pious activities we did. But again, the problem, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi, it's continuing, right? We need to come back again to the earth. Again we perform good activity, we go up, again we come back, again we perform bad activity, we go down. Again, after how many millions? 84 lakh species of life are there. We keep revolving in that. Yes. So, yeah. One more question. Any question? Again, I'm asking. Any question? Yeah. Okay, let me ask. I told about Shastra. So, what is your understanding of Shastra, Prabhu? Anything you understood? Yeah, it doesn't matter what situation it can be. If someone is too much like way of defining one thing can be different as per all of us we are sitting. Yeah, but understanding the essence should be same. Hmm? If we understood, it will calibrate us in our life. We should also think a bit deeper, like calibrating in what sense? Yeah, calibrating for the thieves is one thing, for the police is different thing. If both them have calibration means positioning. Thief will position in such a way so that they can loot others. Police will calibrate themselves in such a way so that they can protect the others. Yeah. So what we are calibrating, we need to also know that. So what will tell us how to calibrate, when to calibrate, how to calibrate? Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. Yeah. One more question. So why we should only perform devotional service to Krishna? Why not to Shiva? Why not to Brahma? Why not to Mother Durga? Recently there was Dasai. Why not to Hanuman? Anything? Okay, a supreme personality of Godhead. But why? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So Prabhuji said, why we perform bhakti to Krishna, not to Shiva, not to Durga, why not to other demigods? Because Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita is the supreme personality of Godhead. And when we are watering the root, everything is satisfied. All the branches are fruitful. The way when we are hungry, we don't eat samosa or anything else through ears, eyes. We put through mouth, goes to stomach, and our whole body gets nutritions. Yeah, same way. And even demigods, like the aim of all the demigods, Vaishnavas, is to direct them towards the path of Krishna. Yeah. So whoever are ignorant, who are impersonal, who are devotees of Lord Shiva, slowly and gradually they will come to the understanding of Krishna. Whoever are follower of Mother Durga, they will come slowly to understand Krishna. Like it's gradual process, not the spontaneous one. Yeah, very nice. Thank you. Any correction, feedback, anything you would like to share? I'm open. No? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, श्री श्री राधा गोपीनाथ भगवान की, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई की, गौर निताई की, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की, all glories to assembled devotees, गौर भक्त वृंद की.